right, who wants to hear about high-octane adventures and the latest and greatest on the motor scene? It's time to rev it up with John and Jess on Joy 1340.
Welcome back to Rev It Up with John and Jess, coming at you on Joy 1340 AM and 98.7 FM.
Well, this week we got somebody really good from your hometown.
Yes,
right?
born and raised Hartford, Wisconsin.
I know. Well, with me being from Germantown and you're from Hartford, so we're always told to stay out of Hartford, because it's kind of like
We don't want you there.
Well, it's kind of like the wrong side of the tracks.
I still don't want you there.
Well, I try to
Don't
keep
come
you.
over.
I try to keep you over there, but you still eventually.
You don't have to push me
So-
there.
Anyways, I'm not going to get mad, and everybody's going to start talking to me about bad things in Hartford or something like that. I was
No,
just kidding. It
Hartford's
was
great. I love it.
I know Hartford's awesome. I love it. And so
I was born and raised there, and I moved away, and I said I'll never, ever live there again. Guess where I live? Hartford.
You live in Hartford, yeah. You live in Hartford, and so in Hartford, you and I we always go to a little. Where's my ice cream shop? Scoop DeVille. And so we ventured into
John's Hobbies across the street.
So we had John's Hobbies over there, which everybody knows are like hobby stores and all those
Mm-hmm.
other things. And you started venturing in there. So you invited both these gentlemen over today. So you want to introduce our guests?
Yes, today we have Bob Reinke and John Hetzel.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And so we ventured in a couple weeks ago, and we started talking with these guys about getting involved in Motor Mania, correct?
Yes.
And I'll let you take this because you.
I'm so excited.
I know, because that's why I'm just going to kind of shut up again for the second week in a row. It's really weird.
I love all things RC, and I don't have an RC car. I've never had an RC car. My brother does.
Well,
but I
noticed
think they're
there's some
so cool.
Stuff. I thought they were for me, so I think it's just a teaser. I thought maybe you bought me one.
No, you
So-
buy yourself so many things like you don't need
Don't
me
tell
to buy.
everybody.
Look at it.
So, for those, I know a lot of people are just listening on the radio, but you can see this later
Put
on
that microphone.
on the podcast over here. So we've actually got that's a Traxxas, right?
That's a Traxxas.
Yes.
Yep, that's the
So-
sledge.
The sledge. So
Yeah.
we've got a lot of listeners that do this, and again, all things motors. Rev it up with John and Jess, Motor Mania. We've been waiting to get somebody on board once we started Motor Mania,
Yes.
and obviously we had that nasty C word that went around in 2020, so we couldn't get all this stuff going on. And now we finally have you guys on board with us.
Oh, it's exciting for us.
Let me start by saying, like, John's Hobbies is a full-service hobby shop, right?
Yes,
You guys are an authorized Traxxas dealer.
we
Correct.
are the only authorized
The
Traxxas dealer
the only exclusive dealer in
Exclusive.
southern Wisconsin.
Southern Wisconsin. Yep,
Cool.
Which is great.
And you also do service there, too.
that's correct.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about the shop and what you guys do.
Well, John's Hobbies, as you said, is full service hobby shop. We've been downtown Hartford for 30 years. And it's been exciting to grow the business there in Hartford. I was born and raised there as well.
Look at us fine people.
I get to say one thing because I heard the history a little bit before. It was a dollar store. What did you say it was before?
A dime store.
A dime store. This is because obviously everybody knows Jess is not 30. I'm sorry, she's older, but
I'm so old.
so you dated yourself. But you knew what it was before that, right?
Yeah, I used to go in there with my brother and my grandma. It was a dime
Okay.
store hobby. And it was just a dime
Yeah,
variety
5
store.
and 10
Yeah,
variety
5 and 10.
store.
All right, so you and Kelly used to rocking around downtown down
That's
there.
where it was the place to be.
I know. All right, go ahead.
Anyway,
I
sorry.
want to get the history. we got to get the history.
Yeah,
going.
we're full service. We do more than just radio control. I am
Yeah.
an authorized Lionel dealer and service center for Lionel trains.
That's
We
great.
sell rockets. We have models. We have over 200 puzzles in stock. We sell art supplies, Brio wood toy trains, Breyer model horses, Bruder toy trucks. Another new item that just came in was Gravitrax. It's a marble build it and just amazed that you can create different mazes with it. It's amazing stuff.
That is great. I can still see your passion, even talking about that from, he's like me when he gets excited about toys and stuff. All
Right.
Yep. So last year I brought Bob on. Business was just going, and I couldn't do it myself anymore. So Bob joined in, and he's my RC guru.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that as first when I walked in.
Yeah.
Like,
when we
that's
walked
the
in,
guy
he
right
was
there.
like all business, right?
Yep.
As soon as
Yeah.
we started, we said a little bit about it. He's like, hang on, let me go talk to this guy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the man that does all the RC repair for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be, I would go into the shop and I would give him money and take stuff away. And
Yeah.
now I work for him and he gives me money and I just give it back to him.
You just do it. I mean, and you've been doing it obviously since you've been a kid, also, right?
Yeah, 88, I think I got my first RC truck.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
was-
And then from then you were hooked.
for the most part, I took a little time off when I went to college and
Yeah.
stuff. I was too busy, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so. When I was younger, it was Radio Shack at first.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we had the ones with little antennas and little whips you used to hit your sister with or something like that, and all that stuff. But I mean, this stuff is just grown. It's crazy what you guys have developed.
It's amazing the line that Traxxas puts out.
Oh, it's
they
really
just
cool.
announced a new truck 2 days ago, the Ford F-150 High Trail.
Okay.
It's got a lift kit in it.
I think I saw that on your Facebook.
Yeah. Just came out. So we don't even have the model in the store yet.
Really?
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah, it's exciting with Traxxas.
That is great. I did see the model. Like this is the obviously the killer off-road machine. People can do whatever you want.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, this is the mid-sized one.
Okay.
The big one, the XRT, we wouldn't be able to get it in here. It's just too big.
Really?
That is
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
And-
it's too big.
Yeah, it would fit at this whole table.
Yeah, it's too big.
I want to drive that.
Oh yeah, that's so much fun.
It's
I mean, they've got everything going for that. Like we went down because obviously, the Bob and Ann Trent and Jim Kramer and all that stuff with Traxxas has got the stuff with Bigfoot too. It's like the Bigfoot truck.
Yep.
So we bought the girls one 2 years ago when we were down by Bigfoot, and I mean just that thing with the suspension and stuff. I mean that's the first RC car I probably had in years. I mean the kids have got cheap junk, from Walmart. Sorry Sam, but it is. But but it is. But also we got that Bigfoot truck, and I'm like, this thing is great. It stands up, it does wheelies all over the place. You can jump all over the place. So we really got hooked back into that too right away. And then of course your brother's been into it for a long time,
And his sons, yeah.
and his sons are really into it. And I've got tons of my buddies that are into it. So when I first walked in, I knew they were out there when I talked to both of you that Saturday when we walked in on Saturday, right?
yeah, I think it was.
And then I had no idea about the drag racing thing. I've seen it before, and I know you have that other truck here, which I'm in love because it's it's like I don't know what body style is, 68 to 72 Chevy pickup, which reminds me of, and everybody again when you're watching, you can check this thing out. It's a short bed Chevy, and it reminds us it's exact body style as our Brownie burnout truck. Our burnout truck is the same way. So and this is the drag truck. This is when did they start bringing these out?
Last year, wasn't it?
Well, that's when they used to make a funny car. What was that? 7-8-ish years ago, they used to make a funny car, and they had the full timing system and everything, and that kind of faded out. It kind of disappeared.
Okay.
And then they brought this back about 2 years ago.
Year or two.
Yeah, a year and a half, 2 years ago. They brought this out. They've got the Chevy body, and they've also got a Mustang Fox body.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. And then you can get aftermarket bodies for these.
I'm sure. I was
going
to say people got to be 3D printing and doing all kinds of stuff with this, having fun with that, right?
Yeah.
You know who I bet you's going to have a kick with this too is that I'm sure Andy Klatt knows about this. The guys who do the slot car drags does too. So yeah, because you'll be when we do in summer, you guys will kind of be next to each other. So it's just going to be a lot of fun for the kids this year. It's going to be a whole different scene.
Well, actually, we'll talk about that, but they're going to be outside now.
Yeah, I think.
Bob and I had a discussion. We felt it was best. It was
this is
outside.
another thing I'm not included in.
I've also got a nitro dragster that I'm going to try to get in shape and bring up.
Oh,
so that's
great.
going to be loud and.
That's going to be great. So everybody with the parents and everybody who's listening, bring the kids out. This is going to be the year we can actually open the whole thing up to the kids. And
we're excited about it. We're going to get some models from Traxxas. They're shipping them up for the event.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a demo area where anybody can have hands-on, drive the truck around for a while, bash it a little bit. And
have a little fun.
have some fun. And,
that is so great.
Yeah. And then Bob brought up the idea about having the bash pit.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that one a little bit because I got.
Well, first, before we get ahead of ourselves, the event we're talking about is Motor Mania, June 2023, the 23rd through the 25th.
Yes.
These guys are bringing up the RC cars. They're going to have outdoor track for drag races, right?
Okay.
Yep.
And an extreme bash pit, which he's going to tell us which that is in a couple of seconds here, and the demos,
and
right?
the demo.
Yep. And the demo.
And I think we talked about bringing some vehicles up to sell as well.
For sure.
I don't know how much we're going to bring. Probably not a whole lot, but we'll have something there.
Whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, absolutely. So can you tell us what an extreme bash pit is and what takes place in it?
In the world of RC, which is actually kind of a small world to begin with, you've got your professional racers that everybody looks up to, and you've got the guys that build tracks in their backyards. But then there's this little section of RC guys that want to break their stuff, and that's their goal. I mean, they go to skate parks and they jump their trucks as high and as fast as they possibly can to see how long they'll survive.
That's
so
I kind of like that too.
I like it. I mean, me being Betty Budget, I would be like, I can't do it. But I'll watch it all day long.
Yeah, some of these guys, and you can go online and find tons of people doing this kind of stuff.
Okay.
But it's a big segment, and a lot of guys love to do it. I'm going to build I'm building a 6-foot ramp. We've got a 4-foot tabletop that we're going to bring in.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, so.
And just to clarify, people, whomever, can bring their RC cars to this.
They're going to have to bring their own stuff because we can't. We're not not using the demo stuff for this.
We can't do that.
Yeah, and what we're going to try to do is, I was going to tell both of you this today, is we actually have a couple sponsors stepping up too, that we can however we figure out the races, or even with the kids and stuff like that. Whether it's a raffle or do whatever, we want to give away a couple vehicles over the weekend. The kids do whatever, so it'll be a lot of fun.
All right.
Maybe a drag truck or something like that, and we got a couple people that we're going to probably coordinate with you about getting 1 or 2 of these trucks over there, and we're going to have one of our painters do a custom airbrush on it, so it'll have your logo on it. I don't know if do you have decals?
Yep.
Maybe put John's Hobbies on the back on these, and we'll put Motor Mania on it to make it look like the Brownie Burnout truck, and we'll give one away. So
that's cool. Yeah, I do. Awesome. I do a lot of custom painting myself too.
Well,
so
I just found a guy that can do it.
Hey. I mean, if you guys have other painters that can do it too.
I mean, you got it already. It's good because I'll send it off to a guy who's like, oh, I forgot to do it. It'll be 3 days before the show.
Right.
We get that every year, don't we?
Yeah.
I want to get so involved with Motor Mania, and then but then the week of the show, they're like, oh, can we get out? I'm like, get it, really?
Oh, I'm the opposite. I have been eating, sleeping, and dreaming this show since you brought it up for the most part.
I love it.
I've been planning and, getting the word out as best I can.
Now, you talked about having drag races, correct? And again, anybody can come and participate. And you talked about having brackets for that, correct?
Yeah, I think we're going to do bracket racing unless we get a lot of guys that are running like the top end stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think we're just going to do straight up bracket racing.
Okay.
And you obviously know what bracket racing is in drag racing. I don't know if everybody else does, but basically you tell us what your ET is going to be, and you try to get as close to that as possible without going over it.
Yep.
Or under it, as the case may be.
Over or under it, correct.
Yeah. So it kind of evens the playing field, so you can have a full-blown vehicle running against a stock truck, and there's still, it's competitive.
Yep, it's competitive, and
staggered starts,
consistency of what it is.
Yeah, it's all about consistency.
Like, and when we do like the drag strips and stuff like that, like say Troy's car and stuff like that, we're talking drag racing. He'll run a bracket for the Crazy 8s or MKE Street Takeover. He's got to run it consistent. Like say his car runs a 790, it's got to run like between a 790 to 880 or 840.
Sounds like you're talking to me in a foreign language.
Well, I had to step up with something because you kept closing me down everything I brought up. So now I stumped you on something so I could finally talk.
Well, for those that don't know, like for brackets, do people have to sign up in advance, or do they just show up?
Well, when they show up, they'll sign up.
Okay.
And then we'll enter their names in our timing system, and then it'll basically run just like full size bracket drag race.
Yeah.
And then can we look for a schedule of events as we get closer as to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we could work with them together.
Coordinate that with you.
We could coordinate with Derek, wherever, and get it coordinated to our website and our Facebook pages and go for that and do it that way. Now you said a little bit before that obviously, we were going to put them inside, but obviously the outdoor track, we want to have outdoor track too, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think obviously with a lot of the parents and stuff like that, the indoor drags would be there, but we'd still have an outdoor pit for that also, right? Just for in case weather permitting and stuff.
That's up
the bash pit?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Rain, snows, tornadoes, thunderstorms. These guys don't care.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Yeah, that'll be great. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Right. And you had said briefly Motor Mania may sponsor like a cash prize for that, and also trophies for the kids, because how fun would that be? Well,
that's one thing we want to coordinate with you guys today also.
Sure.
Because we just think it's so great. Again, I've been going in and out of your store since I've been a kid and wanting to partner up. I mean, every time I could outdate a lot of stuff. I mean, I've been addicted to stuff since I've been a kid, even back when, let's see, my cousin Bob was probably listening to Bob Adams, so we used to have toys like the lunchbox or the, what was the big monster truck? I'm trying to think. Well, I have one in my shop, and I'm drawing a blank right now. The original square body Chevy. It was a big monster truck.
Oh, the Clodbuster?
Clodbuster, yeah. Yeah, and actually we mimicked that off of Mark Bendler's Kodiak truck one time with the monster truck here in Milwaukee. So it's so great to be involved with you guys now, and I'm just so excited to be involved with the kids because we have a Hot Wheels track that we bring in that we didn't make ourselves.
Nice.
A Hot Wheels, a 16-foot super track with all the, the kids can just get the track and do it. So we have that too. So we bring it into as like a Hot Wheels challenge. We give the kids, Hot Wheels cars, and they can just, they race each other on that. It's just a big loop-to-loop. And, of course, we got the boys with the slot car drags, and now you're involved. I think we pretty much covered it all, and we might even have somebody coming up with a model car contest, too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, so I think that'll be really good. Yeah.
Now, does John's Hobbies have a racing league, RC racing league? I thought I saw that somewhere.
Well, we've just got the basement opened up now for racing.
Okay.
For the 1/18 scale vehicles. And Bob is heading that up. And we're just in our infancy right now.
Okay.
And hope to get a good racing league going.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. So right now, I've got. I hesitate to call it a kids program because it's for basically any beginner racer.
Yeah.
I don't time anything.
Okay.
Basically, we teach people how to act at the track. Basic track etiquette.
Oh.
Driver stand etiquette.
That's a program in itself.
Yeah,
Everybody should take that.
Yeah, how to be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. Basically, how not to be a jerk.
Yeah,
it's pretty much it. But then we open the track so that they can learn how to drive too, so that they learn how to stay off the walls and how not to turn into a demolition derby.
Well, I don't think a lot of people realize how hard it is. They see guys going. Yeah. You're standing in one spot, but you got to control this car going all the way around the track and be competitive. I mean, I like watching it there, and we were even watching it down at Bigfoot Open House.
Yeah, it's mesmerizing.
It is because they have a mini monster cam track, and I'm sure you've seen this all before. And it was just crazy, the stuff that they're doing, trying to race each other like an actual monster truck race. Mm-hmm. And some guy's like, you should have went fast. I'm like, and I told him one day I said, why don't you try to drive that once?
Yeah.
And of course, the first time you don't know where to, he went way off in the left field. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. That kid did pretty good. It's a lot harder than you think.
Yeah, well, like a lot of things, you watch the pros on TV do anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks easy. And then you try to do it and you look like a buffoon.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And then we're still working on some timing equipment. Once I get the timing equipment, then we've got some 18th scale midgets, sprint cars, some of the closed wheel dirt cars, like the modifieds and the asphalt modifieds. We'll be running those down there, and then Traxxas makes a series of 18 scale vehicles that we'll be running down there as well.
Okay. Oh, this sounds like a blast.
So
that sounds like really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's our race program's been down for 4 or 5 years, I think.
It's been
well, we're hoping to get part of
that. We're going to resurrect it.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Back up the top, and Jess is going to rev it up like usual.
There you go.
And like I said, we gave you a little teaser of kind of what we have planned at the Washington County Fairgrounds this summer.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe we'll even get you guys to the fairgrounds before that for the our Tuesday night events that we're going to be announcing.
Yeah.
And do that stuff. I think it'd be great if we can get. It
sounds exciting.
Yeah.
It really does.
And basically, what it is all the stuff that we grew up with as a kid. There was stuff to do all the time, and I just don't think there's enough out there for the kids. That's why we want to get these more and more involved with what we do.
Absolutely.
And look at all the passion you guys still have at our ages.
Oh yeah.
And doing whatever. And these kids, they're buried in their electronics and stuff. But if they know what we can do before, it's just a blast.
Well, RC works well with those kids that are so addicted to games and their phones and everything because the motions are a lot the same. It's just that you're not looking at a video screen. Now you're looking at something actually ripping down the road.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids really click right into it. So
not only that, there's a social aspect to that.
Absolutely.
And you can be outside, which is where I try to get my kids out
all the time.
And it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah, and it's just so much fun to see them out there enjoying it again. Because we get a lot of the kids that come to shows with their parents. They love watching the cars drag race, the big vehicles, and the burnout pit. They're addicted to that stuff. Let's say, I know we always say, we'd never rip on anybody else's shows or do whatever like that. But you can only look at a car sitting in a parking lot so long at a car show. It's neat to see it sitting there. But once that fires up and moves, whether we have the monster trucks there and they just fire up and they see them.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, when it comes to life, that's one thing about our shows that you'll see now being a part of it. Even if it's the indoor, you have Anthony Smith with Hercules, one of the fastest cars in the country. You'll just be walking through and out of nowhere he'll fire it up right in the middle of the show. And it's all the kids, they smile, they're scared, but it goes ear to ear. or the one Bigfoot fires up or something like that. So that's that, and we're just now that there's hands-on action again. This is going to be.
That's
great.
why it's cool that you guys are bringing demos too. I think that's going to be a huge addition to it.
Yeah, we worked really hard to get Traxxas to actually bring their stuff up, but Traxxas isn't as big a company as you think it is.
Really?
I talked to our sales rep, and he said we just don't have anybody that can drive the truck up there right now because they're ferrying stuff from the port back to their warehouse.
Sure.
And they're still going to do some stuff. I mean, he's going to send some promotional stuff for us
and
as
we
well.
Get that, we get that a lot. We're like, hey, we'd like to invite you to a show, and everybody every year. I mean, people that have watched the Motor Mania shows grow and the brand grow. Even from 2020, everybody's like, we'd love to bring all this stuff, but we just don't have the people, and your show looks so. And I'm like, well, we just started this, and we had the Memphis Free Outlaws and all the guys come up the very first year. It just took off right away, and even with Traxxas and all the stuff, guys like that. We've had Indian motorcycles come up. We have nobody to drive the semi, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You just they got a heck of a marketing team.
Yeah, that's what Traxxas saying. We don't have anybody to drive the semi up.
Yeah, well, just get down and grab a semi.
There you go.
I'm not saying I won't do it.
I don't know
because I will.
I don't know if I get here. I don't know if I get here in one piece though.
Well,
I do pretty good under pressure. I think I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, no, it is. We're just again going back to the trophies and the cash prizes. Yeah, we're going to talk with these guys about setting up some brackets and some cash prizes for Friday and Saturday for sure. So the kids, however you want to do it, and all you heavy hitters that are come drag racing.
Yep.
I'm sure going to go through. We'll come up with a cash prize for that too.
What's the third toy you got back there?
The third one.
That's
is Bob.
You can just slide this over by me. I just want to take a look at it.
Sure. Don't put it in your pocket.
I think I could. This is
Right here.
This is
Right here.
This is so cool. And it's even like a little Pro Street back there with the slicks on it. I love it.
yeah, those things they're set up.
Even the wheelie bars are back there.
Yeah, I put the wheelie bar back on it. You didn't see the wheelie bar on it.
The wheelie bar was not on it.
Yeah.
So that's so cool too.
Yeah, when it's in the cabinet, that wheelie bar trips me up all the time. So
That is so
we gotta
awesome.
take it out.
So you got that one. I'm going to look at this thing right
Sure.
here. So,
Well, this is, I don't want to call it old school because it's really not, but this is a nitro buggy. So this actually runs on fuel. It runs on nitromethane. This is actually an engine. And this isn't the one I started with, but this is very similar to what I started with.
okay.
But back then it was, you work on it for 6 days to get it running.
Yeah.
And then you drive it for 10 minutes and you break it. And now you got to put it back on the shelf and you got to wait for parts and you got to, if you can't find parts, you got to figure out how to make the parts. So you work on it for 6 days, run it for 10 minutes. It's not that way
Worth
anymore.
it.
Now, was this started because I have, you guys haven't been to the shop, but obviously Jess knows. Oh, and a lot of listeners know already who've been there. I have a whole collection of the original Cox and Wenmac.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got every 57 Chevy variation they've ever made. Testers.
Yep.
The Wenmacs. I've got the vans. I've got all this stuff, and they're gas powered with the little Cox glow plugs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've even got a chopper. I've even got a
That's
chopper
cool.
truck. Yeah,
That's some old school stuff.
Yeah, so that reminds me of this. I mean, I didn't even know what those were back in the day, and I think it was my brother Randy, who everybody knows that's how I got really involved in this stuff. He used to take me to Jefferson and Iola and stuff. And I remember buying a 57 Chevy. It was about this big, and I've got about 6 of them now. It was a Testers, and I didn't understand. I thought it was just a plastic model. And I went to go push it around when it wouldn't move, and Randy bought it for me for like $1 or $2 way back then. And all of a sudden I realized, like 3 weeks later, the body flipped open backwards. And there was a engine in there, and I had it in my shelf, and then all this oil and stuff was up, because I kept flipping around. And I was like, I'm like, what is this pile of junk? It's leaking all over the place. And then I've kept it. I have no idea how, but I did all this stuff. But then I realized what those were, and and then I finally got one, and it ran, and I about burned my finger off, but it was cool.
I'd like to order that in a life size, please.
That
I'll
would be
drive
kind
it
of
home.
scary.
So this is full. That's full remote control also.
Yep. This is probably 8 or 9 years ago. This was what the pro buggy drivers were driving. I mean, this is kind of old, but I got it at a steal, so I had to take it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So now, when we were talking all these vehicles, what is something like, per se, even the drag truck? What is something like this sell for at your store?
Do you remember the price on the drag truck? We talked about this before we came down.
That was around $500.
Around $500. Okay.
Yeah.
They had a deal last summer where you could get 2 of those and a start light for $500.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You get 2 vehicles and that for $500.
Oh, that's the cost of
That's an old deal, though.
Yeah. That was last summer. Their prices are still right around that same. I mean, if you went and you bought 2 of them together, you probably
What's the best way to follow you guys or to see what's going on in the shop or to look for the promotions?
John's Hobbies Facebook page.
John's Hobbies Facebook page.
There you go. And we're right where are they out of, Jess?
Hartford, Wisconsin.
And you're right downtown, right? You're right past the mine shaft and right across from Scoops, right?
Yeah.
Opposite side of the block from the mine shaft.
From the mine shaft, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and you got a great store. And hours, I mean, you're open every day, or what's the hours?
Mondays we're closed.
Okay.
Tuesday through Friday is 10 to 7. Saturday is 9 to 4. And Sunday 11 to 3.
Ample time to get there.
Yeah, perfect time to get there, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we've been babbling so much about stuff, it looks like we're running out of time again. Huh?
Already.
Yeah, do you want to, do you think we need to shut it down after this, or are you going to talk for a couple minutes and do a little afterthought?
That's not up to me today.
Look in the window. What's the producer say? Can we stay for a couple minutes yet? All right. So what we'll do is we got about 25 seconds left of the radio show. So what we'll do is we'll sign off on that when that's over with, and then we're going to keep talking about this for a little bit, at least another 15 minutes, because I want some more information.
It's all about John.
Well, it is, right, John?
Yeah.
It's all about the Johns.
Well, see, it took you long enough to come around to that, but you're